To thank Dr. Afshin Emrani and happy Shavuot, Chag Sameach, Kabbalah Satira B'Simcha V'Pnimius, as we would say. Just got seeing a post of his about the story I told him, so I wanted to fill in on some good details. So immediately I saw it, I was amazed, I was reading it, I had no idea that the story must have been me. And I shared it with my family, and they laughed because they didn't disown me. And I said, the doctor may have misunderstood me, and they said, we all misunderstand you. But the story may not be true about me. One more detail about my wife being pregnant. We already had our baby. She's 14 months old. And about leaving the faith, I never left the faith. Judaism is actually one of the most favorite religions, not just to me, but to many of my non-Jewish friends. And some of them who are only philosophers, they have no faith at all, they have faith in the other sense of the word, but they don't have a religion. They have a faith in humanity. They have a faith in being good people. So yeah, my family laughed, but the story is still very important. I read the comments. Some of them were outpouring of love and beautiful reaction. Some of them were even the most strictest orthodox followers, which is what I was trying to say to you, Doctor, that you have a following of both camps. You are a man of medicine. Medicine is a very important bridge between fundamentalist religious people to the absolute scientist who sees the world entirely cause and effect. Doctors are considered the messengers of God. Doctors are the bridge between teaching biology and evolution to the future children, for the future, because we need them. And so this is what I was saying to the doctor. I was saying your following and the way I read it is, it's not just a Judaism that I would come back to if I ran away from the faith, which I didn't, but it's a Judaism that I can show other people and be proud of, even if they have no reason to choose Judaism. If they asked me, what is Judaism today? I would be honest. I would say we have extremists of many sorts. Some are non-violent, some are violent, some are just anti-science, some are delusional, some are super spiritual. They're just believing in ghosts and angels and the power of alternative medicine. And then we have a doctor that appreciates Hasidism and rabbinic literature, Baal Shem Tov, and this is a bridge of not just between secular and religious, but a bridge between spiritual and mundane, a bridge between one type of Judaism and the other type of Judaism, a bridge between the rabbis and the Kabbalists, between the Talmud and the Kabbalah. So I wanted to express my appreciation to the doctor because I felt so grateful. One more detail. I fell in love with my wife, but I had no option to marry because I felt like I was already in a relationship with my religion. So it was very painful to tell her that this couldn't last, but everything was perfect. I just felt like it was impossible, and the consequences would be so great that it would actually ruin the relationship itself. And it was before Rosh Hashanah, and I said I'm going into Rosh Hashanah trying to go with a clear, honest mind and heart to face God, and she absolutely understood me. Only a few months later, I was lucky that the train didn't leave yet. I came back to my wife and I said, I've done some research and I was absolutely wrong. It's unfortunate that I didn't have rabbis or philosophers around me to tell me, open your eyes. There's absolutely no problem. You could marry and she could be Jewish and she doesn't have to be Jewish. Your kids can become Jewish. Nothing can stop anyone from being religious. Especially today when religion is not as needed, because we have alternatives of science and philosophy and education, and we no longer feel like we're surrounded by the unseen. So today religion's doors are much wider open than in the time of Ezra, when he dismissed entire families. The men had to dismiss their wives and children in the time of Ezra. Such a unpopular thing at the time in a modern context would be considered cruel. Something that doesn't exist today. Even the most extreme ultra-Orthodox who cannot reason and cannot be rational no matter what. The only thing you'll get out of them after you explain logic and reason is silence. You can only get silence out of them because they don't know what to do. They have an obligation, they have a duty to deny reality. They have a duty to deny science. They believe so, but the Rambam says no. The Rambam says God has placed our eyes on our head in the front, for we shall follow reason and not put our eyes behind us. So many believe that. There's probably maybe over a million ultra-Orthodox Jews that deny evolution. But in my case, my wife didn't turn me away. It was I turned back to her as a fruit of science and human reason and understanding religion as it is. It's stories, it's mankind's attempt to understand the world and, when possible, to control it. So I got very lucky, because not only did my family understand me, and they got a beautiful new perspective on faith that they have not been thinking much about, but my friends who are rabbis are still in touch with me, and now I made new rabbi friends who consult with me on the halakha. It's called paskening halacha. They are the ones who codify the Jewish law. And many say to me, how is it possible that rabbis consult with you on halakha, and who are these rabbis? So when I speak to the local rabbis who have no idea about these poskim, I say to them, if you're educated, they'll call you. And they call me not because I'm observant, not because I keep Shabbat, which I don't. And if you catch me keeping Shabbat, you caught me. But I'm not a Shabbat observer. I'm not a halachic observant Jew. So they call me because of my education level and my smicha and my background in Talmud and the Gemara and the Zohar and science and philosophy and history, which I have an extensive knowledge of. And this is what I do as a hobby. I love learning. So I find that what the doctor is doing is bridging. And the bridge is what I was lacking until after age 30. So my first introduction to the world and to my own self and my own identity, understanding what is Judaism, what is religion, what is Hasidism, what is God, what types of God is there in Judaism, what type of concepts of God, all came from the library. So thank you very much, Doctor, for the story. The story is relevant. I wasn't sure if I should tell him immediately if it's not exactly true, but I remembered a Bible scholar telling us once that the stories in the Bible, they may not be historically true, but they are majestically true. In this case, that is it's not an impossible story like a Bible story that has to be impossible naturally to happen, but the story that the doctor is writing is true about many, many young religious kids, not only Jewish, but Muslim and Christian, and any other cult or New Age cult, where a Scientology, where the story is families being split apart because of the religious leaders' moral panic and paranoia of only losing power. And in the history of the world, getting power and keeping it, military might, money, or muscle, religion comes as another form of power. the power of the priests over the people, the Orthodox religion, telling you that they have your earthly and eternal fate in their hand, and a ticket to go to heaven is in their hands, especially the church. Judaism has these elements in it. We had elements of power, but now the spiritual part of Judaism has infiltrated most of it, that we accept converts, we accept the secular, so we're pretty much open and accepting. We just have to realize it and notice it, that we are a religion of that has a place in the future, and it has a place in modernity, and it has a place in humanity and humanistic values. So thank you so much, Doctor, and I really appreciate it, and your story is still relevant and still true. Thank you.